don't know me, my name is Tristan, and I've got the very dubious honour of being Chris's best man here today. I really am honoured, actually, and I've known Chris for a long time, so it really is an honour. Thank you for asking me. It's the first time I've been a best man, and I wasn't sure, so I thought I'd ask for some advice from someone. So I asked one of my friends who I've been travelling with, Will, if you could just give everyone a wave, who you are. Well, he's given best man speeches before, so I asked him for a little bit of advice. And he said to me, giving best man speeches is just like visiting French nudist beaches. The first few minutes are always going to be the hardest. So, thanks for the advice, Will. And I'm going to start with a toast. The first toast to the two beautiful bridesmaids, Minister and Chloe. You look absolutely fantastic, and they helped get Michelle ready for today. So, first toast to the beautiful bridesmaids and to Michelle. Okay. Now, as I said, I've known Chris for a long, long time, and when I grew up, my house actually backed onto Chris's house. So we lived right next door to each other, we were neighbours. And we also went to the same primary school, so as you can imagine, we were best of friends right from the very start. But that's not really true. In actual fact, all the way through primary school pretty much, we didn't actually like each other at all. We weren't friends at all. And despite that, I've got to know Chris a little bit better through Scouts. And the friends that I made through Scouts, they became a really close-knit group. And all of us were together through those years where you go from being a child to start becoming an adult. The years where you start to meet girls, and where you start to find things like alcohol. Now, Chris had a very strange taste in alcohol when he was a child. I think I can tell from the wine that that's maybe carried on. Chris was renowned. Well, if I describe Chris walking into a bar, imagine a man wearing bright white jeans, bad choice, walks up to the barman, peach schnapps please. Now, there is no way that I trust a man that goes to the bar wearing white jeans and orders peach schnapps. But, there's a little present for Chris. If you'd like to call yourself a toast peach schnapps. You like it so much, Chris. Take it a big one. Okay. So our next toast to all of Chris's childhood friends that stuck by a man who can't peach snacks. Chris's childhood friends. Now, some of the friends at the table at the back there. You're right. There's plenty more to come. Some of these friends, we actually flew out to San Francisco, and we've been travelling up from San Francisco to Seattle to get to this wedding. And while we've been doing that, we've been sampling all the wonderful scenery in America, but mainly we've been sampling the wonderful beer and the wonderful food. And some of you found out yesterday that we've had a little competition as we've been going around. And the competition has been to see who could put on the most weight in our journey to America. And I'm not sure how I've squeezed into this, but I actually managed to put on 12 pounds in 7 days. And I've got to say that I think that the smokehouse barbecue and the pizza yesterday has probably added a couple more. So I just have to say one more toast. You can see a pattern here, lots of toasts. One quick toast to Marlene and to Jeff. Thank you for making me feel so welcome, and thank you for the lovely pizza last night. Marlene and Jeff. Okay. Now, after Chris left school, Chris went off to university. And as you can probably tell by Chris's pasty skin, his bad eyesight, his hunched back, and his very often very gormless expression. I'm sure you won't be surprised that Chris studied computer science at university. Now, you may be a little bit more surprised to find out that Chris actually did have some friends at university. A couple of those friends are here, I think, so if you're one of Chris's friends from university, if you can give us a little wave. Hopefully there's some. Yep, there's a couple. There are only a couple, maybe. I'm sure there were more. Now, from Chris's friends and from Chris, I heard lots of stories about Chris's nocturnal activities at university. And I thought long and hard, Chris, about which of those stories I should include in this Best Man speech. Chris, he looks a bit nervous all of a sudden. Well, I thought long and hard, and I thought, well, it is a family setting, and it should be a family speech, so I thought, probably best I don't include any of those stories. You'll be pleased to hear, Chris. But if anybody does want to speak to Chris later about what he got up to at university, just ask him about Juicy Lucy later on. He'll clear it all up, it's fine. After Chris left university, he started working for Detica. And mainly that was in the UK, but then he's got a contract to work out in America. So he lost Chris for a little while. But he came back again and bought a house. And myself and my girlfriend Jane moved into that house, and Chris became, as well as our friend, he became our housemate and our landlord. So he took money off us. So he has got his nasty side too. And he went back out to America again on a few jollies, and he came back one time and said they'd met this girl called Michelle. And they started a long distance relationship. And for anyone that's done a long distance or had a long distance relationship, they know how hard that can be. So I think it's a real credit to Chris and Michelle that they managed to hold down that relationship, and I think it's a real testament to you. Eventually, Chris and Michelle couldn't be kept apart, and Chris has come back out to America to live out here. And by Chris coming out here, the UK's lost something. They've lost someone. They've lost someone that thinks it's acceptable to go outside wearing socks and sandals at the same time. It's not acceptable, Chris. Don't do it. They've also lost somebody that provides a valuable resource to the dentist industry in the UK. Now, my teeth aren't great, but Chris's teeth really cut the mustard. And the UK has also lost someone that says that he's very intelligent. He's university and degree educated in computer science, but for the entire year that I lived with him, couldn't fix the internet. So, maybe not so intelligent, Michelle, I'm afraid. But what England or the UK has lost, America has gained. And they've gained someone that for me has been a school friend, a friend through Scouts, a housemate, a landlord, a Crystal Palace supporter, a drinking buddy, and somebody who, I guess in the most English way possible, is a jolly good chap. And this jolly good chap was lucky enough to meet Michelle. And I really wish them every happiness in the world. So, to Chris and Michelle.
Michelle.
Cut the cake here in a little bit. If you got a little bit of a sweet tooth and hadn't had that candy bar yet.